If you want to get the top odds every time, bet with Top Sport's Same Game Multi. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Gamble responsibly.
Round 23, and we have another Ricky Stewart imposed ban. You'll see the man to my left, Mr. Cherry, is not with us at the moment, spending a week by himself on the lounge at home watching all the football with a tub of popcorn and a few cold brewskis, I heard, similar to Ricky.
Oh, half his luck.
Round 23 is upon us. We cannot wait. Some great games happening throughout this round. And we're going to talk all that and a little bit more now with our main man up north, Tristan Merlehan, the CEO of Top Sport, and he joins us on the phone now. G'day, Tristan.
Yeah, g'day, boys. How you going?
Good, mate. Really good. How's things up north?
Yeah, good. We got some good weather. We got some good footy coming up. We got some good racing. It's what a time to be alive.
We had -3 frost here this morning, mate. So thanks for rubbing that in. But yeah, all good, mate. We'll quickly do our Top Sport top that moment around. I know Birdo's got one, and I've got one as well. So we might let you be the judge.
Yeah, well, I'll kick it off, considering I don't know if I won last week, but I was definitely targeted last week. But I've gone, boys, I've gone the square up. The old karma comes around, and it was the square up in the St. George game. So my point of view anyway, St. George should have been given a penalty in front of the sticks to level the score, very similar to the game previously in Wollongong between the two of them. There was a penalty given for St. George, and this time there was no penalty given for St. George. So a bit of a square up there from the referees, I think. I wouldn't be so lucky Sticky wasn't there. It would have been on again.
It was very ironic how it happened. The same teams,
exactly
the exact
right.
same thing. How'd you go with that one, mate? Did it cost you anything, or did you actually come up all right because of that result?
To be honest with you, that was one game I missed throughout the course of the weekend because we were in the Titans lounge getting ready for their big performance, and I'd had a number of beverages and I'd missed that game. So I think whatever you're going to put forward might get the vote.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, mine, I've actually gone a bit here. I've gone both or more in the 79th minute, making that break. He showed some good speed.
Yeah.
He's a good player. So I think I'm going to take the victory there. Hence that you're at the game, the Top Sport Titans, and a great try and a great victory, which they needed. They definitely needed that.
Yeah, I think you know how this works. Any Titan reference that's a positive is always going to get a number of ticks. And yeah, it was good for the boys to get off the bottom of the ladder. And both of them all was brilliant. The only thing I will say about that is though, we actually had a group of punters that were at the game, and there was a group of 6 or 7 of them, and they all lobbed on both Thermore to score the last try. So I think he was at $23. So there was a bit of friendly banter going around. They had a very nice clean up, the boys. So that double whammy. But I was very happy to pay him with the Titans getting a very, very good win.
Yeah, would have made it a bit more sweeter for you, and you got a double too. So that would have been paying a bit for him as well, mate. We'll get into a few games this round, and we'll let you go. First up, big game, grand final rematch, South versus Panthers. I can see here South are pretty heavy favourites, obviously, with Panthers got quite a few players out still.
Yeah, so this one I will put a big asterisk on this game because as we're doing this now on a Wednesday night, there's still a lot of uncertainty over Latrell Mitchell. And in my mind, he is the most influential player in the NRL at the moment in terms of shifting markets. And we priced this game up when there was no even iota of a doubt in our mind that it was going to be out at 4.5. It was about $1.55 the Rabbitohs, $2.45 Penrith, 4.5. Now, with the speculation that he might be in some doubt, we've dropped the line down to 3.5. $1.64 South Sydney, $2.30 Penrith. If he plays, I feel that market's going to get back out to the 4.5 mark. If he happens to not take the field, I get the feeling this game could get close to pick him. I think it could be about $1.90 take your pick if he doesn't line up there for the Rabbitohs. So just keep that in mind. If you think he's not going to play, Penrith are a good bet right now. If you think he will, then I'd suggest jumping on South Sydney. If you just want to wait to see what happens, then just keep your eyes on the news outlets. Yeah,
and they're keeping it close to their chest too, South. I don't think they said he's going to play, but apparently had a fair bit of ice on the old groin, I think it was. Or just cooling his jets, getting ready after cooling down after a big weekend, maybe. Also, mate, and Berto just informed me before he'll actually be at this game. We've got the Broncos up against the Storm up there at Suncorp Stadium. Big game coming up for both sides.
Yeah, absolutely massive game. So a fortnight ago, the Storm were in danger of missing the top 4 with that big win against Penrith last week. That's put them back into pole position there where they're sitting 4th, but they've got a lot of teams nipping at their heels. So the Broncos are one of those, and I think this is a massive game for both sides. There's been a good push for the Storm, gone from 4.5 out to 6, $1.55 into $1.48. Jerome Hughes back is enormous for them. But I think if Brisbane are realistically going to be any chance in the finals, they need to be winning this game up there at Suncorp. Whether they got the ability to do so, I'm not so sure. But the Storm are still going to get players back. They're going to be better in a month's time, and Brisbane aren't going to be playing them at Suncorp. So I think this is a real line in the sand moment for the Bronx. If they can win, they can force their way back into top 4 conversations. But after this really strong start of the year, they have just dropped off a little bit in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So 6 flats a line, I think it seems about right. Melbourne defended so well against Penrith. If they can replicate that, you struggle to see where the Bronx can score their points.
Yeah, definitely out wide. I think might be their only opportunity there. And Cam Munster been great at fullback. I think he'll be there again this week.
Yeah, I'd suggest so, yeah.
Yeah. All right, mate. We appreciate you joining us. I know we're a bit time poor today. That's our fault, not yours. But enjoy the footy over the weekend, mate. And if you do want to head on over to Top Sport, create yourself an account, use the code SGM Podcast when you do. And I'm sure Tristan and us here at the Same Game Multi Podcast will appreciate that. We'll chat next week, mate.
Speak next week, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Mate. A little bit short and sweet there from Tristo, but we're just running a bit over time. So
yeah.
He's got other commitments. Busiest man I know, Tristan. He's on everything.
He's up there. Whether he's busy or not, or whether he's trying to get away from us.
Well, he might be trying to get away from it.
Give him benefit of the doubt. I will touch on the Brisbane-Melbourne game. Not only that is get that momentum going into finals as well. Brisbane are also playing for a position to host a finals game. So they're looking to stay in the top 2 of the bottom 4. So too are Melbourne are looking to stay in the 4 to get that second bite at the cherry, worst case scenario, week 1 of the finals. In my eyes, even if Brisbane don't necessarily win, at least if they can match them or take the game to them, use a little bit of momentum into the next 2 weeks and try and push for it. But, mate, I tell you what, the way the ladder is at the moment, anyone can get a home final except for Penrith. They're basically guaranteed. Also, too, at the same time, anyone can go from having a home final to not having a home final. And mate, that's a massive difference. So
completely, 100% agree. Just looking at the ladder now, what's your prediction? Who's going to finish top 4, you reckon?
Top 4, I don't think it changes.
Just as it is, Panthers, Cowboys, Sharks, Storm.
The only thing that I think changes is I think Cronulla will finish second.
Yeah, okay.
So they'll ideally play at home, which will be better for them. Having said that, I'll take no credit away from the Cowboys. They've been nothing less than terrific all year. I just think, I don't know whether they're just in a little bit of cruise control at the moment, but I tell you what, Cronulla playing some damn good football too.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned about Cowboys yet. Obviously, they haven't had a couple of great performances, but I just feel that they might be just dipping at a good time, if that makes sense, ready for a finals charge. Maybe might kick it off this week against the Warriors, might be next week against the Bunnies, a massive game next round against the Bunnies for the Cowboys there. So it'd be interesting to see. I think next week we'll be able to see whether they're going to be legit or not.
Absolutely. It's a tricky one how the Rabbitohs are. The way they generally go through the Wayne Bennett era, They perform like Olympic athletes.
Yeah.
So they just cruise all year and then they get themselves to peak. So when they're right at the Olympics, which is basically the finals, they are absolutely in 100% shape. And the coach now was the assistant coach for Wayne. So he knows the system and how that all works. And Wayne's done that for years and years. So he's got the South system there at the moment. I tell you, Latrell's playing terrific as well, so it'll only favour him as well.
100%. And just looking at the draw there, Sharkies have a much better run in after this week as well. They play the Bulldogs and I hit the wrong fucking button there. And then next week they play, the week after, they for the final they're playing the Knights, whereas the Cowboys have South and Panthers to finish off. So I tend to agree. Looking at that, the Sharkies might jump them, take out second spot. Who knows? Melbourne might even jump the Cowboys as well. But that home ground advantage, especially for the Cowboys, will be getting their season, that new stadium packed out.
I was going to say, if they host a final, well, regardless whether they finish in the 4, they will host a final at some stage, whether it's round 1 or round 2 of the finals. Could even be round 3. if they go straight through from the first week. So that stadium will be packed, big crowd. So, mate, all in all, that'll benefit them in a big way.
Yeah. All right, let's did our top that moment. How about we do our...
You are off. Don't talk to me. Just go.
Our send-off for the
He
week.
has been sent off.
Anything go up your gears, mate? Give you the shits.
I just got one thing, and it's the Shoey man.
Oh, the Warriors.
In New Zealand.
Yeah.
Aaron Woods that's over there. that's doing, so this is what I've heard, right? So his father owns one of the corporate boxes at Mount Smart Stadium, hence the reason why he has access to that section that's basically permanently reserved.
Yeah.
To do that shoey. Now, this is also what I heard on Morning Glory, was there's a shoe company talking sponsorship. All of a sudden he gets asked, he gets the ban, but then the ban gets overruled. Mate, what the hell is going on? A bloke can't. I know it doesn't set a good example, but mate, depends on what you look. Tai Tuivasa he does shoeys in the UFC, and in my eyes, the UFC is bigger globally than the NRL.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So
they embrace it.
Yeah, and so, at the same time, you don't want kids sculling beers and, when, not the kids are sculling beers, but, the same thing. But, if they did ban him because it's a wrong image, mate, there's bigger issues you got to fix first.
And to be honest, it's not even his fault. It's the Fox or Channel 9 or whoever the camera is. And did you notice last week the camera didn't actually even go to Stacey Jones? It started at him and then just went down to Sharon Woods doing the... Poor Stacey was there not getting his 15 seconds of fame. He would have been dirty. Yeah, so maybe it was Stacey that got him kicked out.
It could have been, mate. He might have...
Stole his limelight.
He might have had a word to management on the way out. But, no, I think... at the same time, there is... fors and against with that too, but
good to see common sense prevail. Like you said, the ban's been overturned. I think the Warriors actually put out a statement, or it might have been Mount Smart Stadium itself on social media saying that common sense prevailed. The ban's been overturned, and I dare say, although they're not there this week, I don't think, but next time they are, you might do a
last round.
I think old double.
The last round, that'll be a magic game, I reckon that will be. I can't think of who they play, but they played home last round. Obviously, that they're not going to play final, so I reckon that'll be a massive show.
Yeah. I don't really have one, just I suppose more of a personal one, when you kind of generalise too, you kind of think know someone and they turn out not to be who you thought they were. So to all those people out there, and if you are watching, you know who you are, you can go get fucked.
Is that Rug?
Me, mate. No, Rug. No, not Rug. Not from me anyway. It might be from you.
That is from me.
Just a bit of personal stuff for me.
Oh, right.
Good to get that off my chest.
Is that because I didn't do a shoey a couple of weeks ago? Or?
Well, it was directed in your direction.
Speaking of that too, I actually got a shout out for Benji Blackswell. Now, if you remember at the start of the season, we had a bet. I don't know what come across him, but he approached me, said, mate, I'll have a carton.
Dragons?
That the Dragons will finish higher than Parramatta, mate.
Paid up yet? Paid
Money
out
for
early?
Jim, paid on the weekend.
Oh, good on him.
Carton of Jemison. I think it's about $130 too. For a carton of Jemison, new beauty. So thanks, Benji. Mate, it's not even a shout out, mate. It's more of an embarrassment.
Might have only been 100 at the start of the year. Fucking inflation's gone up.
Inflation, so. Thanks, Benji. Mate, they taste delicious and they taste all the more better because I didn't have to pay for them.
Loyal listener of the show too, Benji. So great to have you on board as always. As you take that sip, mate, we're going to jump into it and we'll do beer of the week. Now, obviously, Mr. Cherry ain't here at the moment. We are expecting him for the second half of the show, so stick around for those insights. Mr. Hawkeye, Whitebull Hotel, great sponsors of the show each and every week. 6-pack of beer for the boys to sample, give you their stubby lid rating and a bit of information about said beer. Oldie but a goldie, I think this one, mate. We've had this one before, looking at the label there. We're on to our, what are we calling it? Our
rerun,
our
replay,
our favourites, our sort of ones that we've done before. We've actually drank the Whitebull out of beer. So anyway, what do you got?
Going back through, it'd be interesting to go back through and give what our ratings were because
see if it matches
some days
up.
Today might change. So boys, we've got Stella this week. I'm going to do my best to pronounce it. My pronunciation's probably not exactly the best, but I think it's Artois. So it's actually
kind of like menage a trois.
Yes. Looking at this Belgian beer, it's a heavy. So 4.8% alcohol, 1.3 standard drinks. Brewed and bottled in Australia from imported ingredients and local ingredients too, it says on there. Now, before I'd even had a sip of it, it had already lost the point.
Lost half a point.
The old pop top, mate. Stop making life hard. But I tell you what, sipping my way through it, I'm going to give it a 4. It's actually crisp. It's clean. It's actually easy drinking. So
similar to your Becks and those kind of beers, those imported kind of German.
So it's a bit of
European beers.
Yeah, lager, I believe. Yeah, premium lager beer. So after having a bit of a, I wouldn't say it was a country of a day, but it was up there with one of them. Mate, that's actually pretty damn good. So I'm going to give it a 4. Imagine if it was a pop top, mate, it could have been 4.5.
Stella, if you're out there listening, I'm going to tag you in our Instagram post. Hopefully they'll listen, and they might change their bottling. The
twist tops,
multi-million-dollar change, I'm sure will come from this review. Mr. Cherry's got his sitting there, which will be nice and warm by the time he gets here. But anyway, I'm sure it won't bother him.
Like a cup of noodles.
Thanks to the Whitebull Hotel, great sponsors each and every week. As I said, if you are in the Armidale area, get on down, use the drive-through Bottle-O. If you're travelling through, great spot to stop and have it feed. Some great food down there in the bistro as well. Anything else we do in this segment? I've forgotten from last week.
No, I think that's about it. Next segment, we little advertisement, and then we just roll on through the games.
We'll have a little look at the games. If you missed our ad last week, head over to YouTube and check out last week's ad in the middle of our podcast, about 20 minutes in. It's a sight to behold. Did you watch it? Did you see it?
I did, it was good.
So we paid up on our debt, the Shuey, to Tristan for New South Wales going down in the third game of the State of Origin. We might even give it a run on this ad just so you don't have to go searching for it, so stick around. A CC and a 4X goal for Mr. Cherry. Let me take my boot off here. This is going to be horrible. Let's go. Oh, shit.
Gold's even worse out of a shoe.
Look out, game 1 next year, Tristo, because we're going to think of something horrible for you. Good on you, buddy. All right, hope you enjoyed that ad break. As I said, a little bit of a pay up there to Tristan, our main sponsor. Thanks to Top Sports. And how's that taste of tinea, mate? Still on your tongue?
Oh, that foam. I think it's still there. I had heartburn for about 2 hours after that too.
Let's get into some footy, boys. Round 23. Sorry, as we welcome in Mr. Matthew Mark Cherry to the show. Straight from the delivery truck. Still got the high vis on, as you can see. No rest for the wicked.
Truck's still running. I think I might have forgot to turn it off. I don't know.
It's just the industrial deafness, mate. One of you.
Boys, big game to kick us off. Grand final rematch here. Thursday, 7:50 p.m. at Core Stadium. South up against the Panthers. South are the favourites here. We spoke about this with Tristan, $1.64. Head-to-head, $2.30 if you do like the Panthers. The line is set at 3.5. And as Tristan said, depending on Latrell, there's a big asterisk here. So $1.85 the minus for South and $1.95 the plus for the Panthers. Is Latrell going to play, boys, do you think?
Well, I heard on the wireless this morning he didn't finish his Monday session. No. Pulled up pretty early in it, I think. So haven't heard any news since. I hope he does play because I think they'll be a force to be reckoned with. I think the Pennies might be struggling big time if he does get a start. But I haven't heard any news since early this morning.
Are South playing that good? Because in my eyes, I think they're playing terrific football. But it was brought up to me today, and I sort of questioned. Parramatta is so inconsistent, terribly inconsistent. At the same time, who'd they play the week before? Was it Melbourne?
Warriors 48-10. They beat the Warriors the week before.
So then
that
was the Warriors, and I think the week before that they might have played someone, whether it was Penrith or someone like that. But
they went down Golden Point the Sharks the week before.
So, I don't know. I'm just not. I don't know. Hey, by all means, get around it because I got them at big odds to win the comp. But this week I think will be a big test for them. Having said that, Penrith have got a lot of players out too.
Yeah, definitely. And last week, I think that showed last week with their attack. Melbourne's defence was really good, probably, and I think Bellamy said it was their best defensive effort in like 10 years or something. So that's a big call from the coach, which he's obviously been crying out for quite a bit of this season. So it was good to see them show some resolve there, but they did struggle in attack, I felt, and just didn't have that sort of direction when they were in that attacking zone. So it'd be interesting to see if that's the same this week. Looking at the lineup there, boys, Latrell Mitchell is named. Whether he plays or not will wait to be seen. I think if he does play, I think Souths are morals here, but if he doesn't, it does bring Panthers back into it, I feel.
Yeah, I think it'll be massive because their form since he's been back has been so strong. Another little bit of icing on top too is Campbell Graham coming back. The big stretch, which I like. He does a lot of hard runs and stuff, and he definitely gets in there. So, but it'd be interesting to see if that'll put them on a platter. I think if they go good with him, if they struggle without him, then you can sort of go, well, is this another Tommy Turbo situation where with Turbo, Manly was strong. Without Turbo, they're nowhere to be seen. So
yeah, and Dylan Edwards comes back for the Panthers too. He was a big out last week. I think they missed him. Anything else you want to say, Mr. Cherub, before I go into my multi?
I think so. If Trell's playing, I'm all over South.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. My multi boys, I didn't pick a winner here because of this. I'm going to wait to do my footy tips the day of, I think, maybe even 10 minutes before. But I've gone 3 anytime try scorers. AJ always gets across. I've actually gone stretch Campbell Graham as well in his return, and Stephen Crichton for the Panthers for $16.
Gee, that's all right.
Pretty good for 3 fellas that like to get across the line quite a bit.
They're in that try-scoring vicinity.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully we might get that one up and kick off the weekend with a bang. Moving into the second game, boys. Cowboys versus the Warriors, Friday, 6 p.m, Queensland Country Bank Stadium up there in Townsville. Head-to-head, almost unbackable here, $1.09 are the Cowboys, $7.50 the Warriors. The line is set at a pretty big 19.5, but it's not the biggest line we'll see this round. Get the Cowboys at the minus for $1.85 or the Warriors at the plus for $1.95. Cowboys victory, boys?
Yes, definitely.
I think they'll win. But I think, I could be wrong. I might eat my words early next week, early this week, I should say. Early this weekend, I should say. Okay, now, Jesus. The Warriors have got, mate, they take so much out of that game against the Dogs last week. Playing at home, Aaron Woods was sculling beers out of his shoes again. They'll take that at the same time. But having said that too, this is a massive game. We're talking about it earlier. This is a massive game for the Cowboys. This is probably the easiest points they'll get, touch wood, to try and keep themselves into that home final spot.
Yeah,
they're not gonna miss the 4. That's all but guaranteed.
They need to win this game,
but they need to win this game, and I think if they're going to come out hard, it'll be this game here.
Yeah, we mentioned before they got South and then Penrith in the next 2 games, so they've got to win this if they want to secure that top 4.
It had a pretty hard run home, same as the Chooks. I was looking at the draw there the other week. See old Woodsy, he got booted from the stadium too. The security turfed him. They tried to give him a life ban. What a clown.
Yeah.
His old man owns one of the corporate boxes there.
Yeah.
So that's how he gets into that exclusive access zone.
You just have to go and watch the start of the podcast because he spoke about this before. So
I haven't even started to rant yet.
Do you have a send-off?
I got a couple.
Next episode, you have to tune in. Boys, Cole Felt returns the wing. The Hammer back to the bench. And Tanua Brown out of the 17. McLean starting at prop. And Cohen Hess has also been benched there. No changes for the Warriors, which is why would you? After they did play pretty well last week. You said Sean Johnson played one of the best games he's played in about 3 years.
Mate, he played terrific. But the problem is, for a bloke of that calibre, not to play terrific all the time. It's so hard to watch being so inconsistent. And, he's been I'd say he's built himself a bit of an empire for a while. Mate, when he first went to Cronulla, everyone loved him.
Yeah.
He was sort of a bit of a poster boy, but now he's starting to fade away. He was talking about an early retirement, and he goes and puts on a game like that. So, but, hopefully he can use that as a little momentum for this weekend.
My multi boys, I think the Cowboys will bounce back here. I've got them 13+. Kyle Felt, Scotty Drinkwater and Edward Kosi from the Warriors to get across as well. He got me over the line the other week. $8.05 for that one for a 4-legger. thanks to TopSport. Head on over, create yourself an account today. Gamble responsibly. Broncos versus Storm, Friday, 7:55 p.m. at Suncorp Stadium. If we don't see you do a streak in the nude, I'm going to be very disappointed because you do owe us from the shoey. I think that's probably repayment.
Might be a square up. Might get out there on the nude. Might mistake me for a female. There won't be much there to see. So, but no, actually, I'm pumped. This game, we spoke about this earlier. Should be a really good game because at the same time, the Broncos need to win to keep themselves in the top half of the bottom four of the 8. Whereas at the same time, Melbourne have got to win to try and secure a spot in the top 4.
Yeah, lots to play for here. And head-to-head, Broncos are the outsiders at home, $2.65. Storm are $1.48. The line is only set at 6 here, $1.90 each way. Broncos at the plus, Storm at the minus. Everything you said is correct. Mr. Burton, what about you, Chess?
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome game to watch. Bit of a 50-50 call for me, this one actually. I'm very tempted to lean towards Bronx.
Being at home?
Yeah, I'm just very, very tempted to take them for this week. I think they're going to be so hard to stop. I think they've just had such a good year. They've really surprised everyone with that Reynolds signing, and I don't think they're going to take the foot off the pedal anytime soon. Melbourne have had their few problems, but they're looking like a pretty strong side this week with Hughes back. I think this might come down to a fair bit of strategic kicking, maybe too, in this from both the halves from each side. So we'll see what happens there. Ezra Mann, he got the try up there last. So I was a bit unlucky last week too. Like he was, mentioned it yet, but I got the Roosters multi up and then missed the Bronx one by one leg again. Dominic Young
let you down, didn't he?
I'll tell you what, if Gagai wasn't such a ball hog and passed that ball out right at the end, could have been in. But I'm going to lean towards Bronx here. I think on this one.
Cameron Munster's been named at 6, boys, but I would not be surprised if they shift Nick Meaney into 5'8" and Cameron Munster to the fullback position, especially now that Jerome Hughes is back as well. A bit more experience there in the halves to partner Nick Meaney because Cameron Munster has been electric at fullback the last 2 weeks.
Got a feel for Cooper Johns, steps in for 2 games, played relatively good, but when you got a bloke like Jerome Hughes coming back.
Yep. And Marion Sevi also out as well with Tuna Monapia named in the centres. Thank you very much. My multi, and I've gone Storm head-to-head. Storm first half winner, so to be leading at half time. Xavier Coates, Cameron Munster, and Corey Oates all to get across the line. $14.12. So 5 legs. I filled up the sheet there, boys. I don't usually go the 5 legs, but I'm going opposite to Mr. Cherry.
Don't usually fill it up.
Yeah. Well. Saturday, 3 p.m, Combank Stadium, Eels versus Bulldogs. Head-to-head, Eels $1.33 favourites here. Bulldogs $3.35 outsiders. The line's set at an interesting 9.5. Get the Eels at the minus for $1.80 or the Bulldogs at the plus for $2. A bit of a grudge match this game, Birdo. It usually brings out the best in both teams.
Yeah. Last time Parramatta played Dogs, they absolutely spanked Parramatta in what was a terrible performance from Paris. So, mate, they'll be looking to bounce back. Hopefully they do try and match them. As you said, there's always a bit of a grudge match. We bounce off the 80s. When the Dogs of War. At the same time, Parramatta was arguably the Australian side, but hopefully it's a square up for Parramatta's sake. Try and keep themselves in that contention as we were talking about the top side of the bottom 4 of the 8. Be interesting. Mitchell Moses is back.
Yeah.
But the one I'm keeping an eye on is Pangai Jr. Now, he's been named on the extended bench now. Whether they hold him out, slot him in at game time, hopefully they don't. Because I tell you what, when that bloke gets a head of steam, he's hard to stop.
He causes a ruckus, doesn't he?
Yes.
He's a big bopper. Kyle Flanagan's still the number 7 as well for the Dogs. The only thing steering me away from this to be a really good game is the Dogs bench. They have a really, really weak bench this week. And especially if you look at the Parramatta bench, it's chalk and cheese. I'll be leaning towards Parramatta for this one, definitely. I've been enjoying watching the Bulldogs this year. They've been pulling off some good little spectacles. So, and with Jake Avarillo and Carraz and that, they've been playing pretty well. But this week, I'm definitely going Parramatta.
Your multi, Mr. Burton.
Was it my multi? Sorry, I was.
I'll type as you go.
I'm out of my app. Wait till I go. Oh yeah, sorry. I'll tell you one thing. Since he's moved up there, Josh Addo-Carr, or down, up, mate. I'm loving that bloke at the moment, Addo-Carr.
That's right,
mate. He's playing good football. Boys, I'm going to go Parramatta head to head. Not game to touch a margin, just head to head. The total points to be over 48.5. I think both sides defensive, a little bit ordinary. So, Mike Acevo, anytime try scorer, always scores at Bankwest. Combank. And Sean Lane, anytime try scorer too, just for a little bit of Vegemite on that. All up, boys, $7.96.
Nice. Sean Lane's playing some good footy. That late offload gets through the line, breaks through. Big long arms on him.
I think he's had 7 assists in 4 games.
Yeah.
So that's not bad for an edge rower. So
playing really good footy. Saturday, 5:30 p.m, Manly up against the Sharks at 4 Pines Park. Head-to-head, $3.80 if you like Manly, $1.27 for the Sharkies. The line is set at 11.5. $1.95 at the plus for the Manly, or $1.85 at the minus for the Sharkies. Mr. Cherry, thoughts?
I actually watched a bit of the Manly game there last week. Switched on just at the right time. I was running a bit late. Dylan Walker getting sent off for 10.
Literally his first tackle. Go on.
Lovely. So good to see. I reckon the odds are about $1.50. Could happen again this week. I really hope the Sharks play well here. Really sort of stomp their mark for the finals. See, they're missing Rudolph. Big Rudolph's out there.
Yep.
But
leading Santa's sleigh.
The ones for Manly, though, is going to hurt them. Jakey T and the Saab, the supercharged Saab. So,
ACL.
damn, he's quick.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's got, and they'll be missing Trebojevic definitely for his tackling efforts mainly as well.
100%. Just goes to show how much that bloke binds the middle of the field and wins the yardage battle up the middle. He doesn't necessarily make a lot of meters, if much at all, but I tell you what, he definitely stops people from making meters. Yeah. Mate, his defensive efforts are huge, and State of Origin goes to show, but
sometimes the best form of attack is the defense.
Absolutely. 100%.
Hey. Some wise words. Boys, you know who I really liked last week in his return was Hank Scorpio, Brad Parker.
Yeah.
God, he played well. He'd been out since April with a knee injury. Come back and he had a blind. He scored a try, ran straight and hard. Old Fatty Vorton loved him. But yeah, as you mentioned, Toby Rudolph out injured as well with, I think, an MCL. But just looking in the halves there, boys, Matty Moylan returns, which is a big thing for the Sharkies. He's been out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And they've just looked a bit, not rudderless because Nico Hines has been playing well, but just the combination between Hines and Trindle just isn't there. Obviously haven't played and trained together all year like Moylan has. So I'm leaning towards the Sharkies here for sure, boys.
Yeah, mate, I'm going Cronulla as well. And I tell you what, I'm going to go Cronulla 13 plus. The first half points to be over 25.5. I think they're going to come out firing both sides. There might be a little bit of leakage. Tui Pilotu, anytime try scorer. And I'm going to go Cronulla the first half margin of minus 5.5. Good. $9.86.
So that's your first half margin, yeah?
Yep. First half line, same difference.
Yeah. Who you picking?
Oh, Sharks 13 plus. Big one.
Mate, could be a bath.
Big one. Seen, read a little snippet I forgot to mention before with the Brisbane, Albert Kelly making a possible return soon too. So
he's going to have his one-eared mankind headgear on.
Hope he's got clean soles of his shoes so he doesn't step on big hearts.
I was going to say, I wonder if he's been off doing some boxing training to take him on.
Roosters up against the Tigers Saturday, 7:35 p.m. to round out Super Saturday. Head-to-head, $1.05 if you like the Roosters, $10 if you do like the Tigers. And have a look at this line, 22.5. Massive, $1.90 each way, minus for the Roosters, plus, of course, for the Tigers. Mr. Cherry, your team, your comments.
Prepare to get your whiskers pulled. This game's going to be good. For the Chooks, that is.
Sounds like something I'd be into, to be honest.
Don't know if you've always seen it. Teddy and Robbo were talking about how the team's been gelling very, very well in the last few weeks, and they're getting ready for the finals. So it's good to see they're very confident, stepping up. They've been playing some good footy too. I'm very, very critical, as you know, when it comes to the Chooks. I always sort of call them out if they do something wrong, but they've been doing the right things lately, so it's been very good to watch. West Tigers, I hope it's not one of these games again. But we should absolutely smoke these guys, and we should bury them about 6 foot, I reckon.
Well, the performance you put on against the Cowboys, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. No, we've been playing some solid stuff. Just double checking the interchange here, seeing who's on the bench.
Watson, Butcher, Drew Hutchison, and
Terrell May.
Yeah,
He's
all right,
Yeah, it's not too bad.
apart from his fucking rat style. But
See,
or is that his brother, or are they both?
Skywalker.
Oliver Gildart there. He's in the reserves. Haven't seen much of him yet.
Scored 5 tries in
the-
reserve grade last week.
I haven't seen much of him yet for the Chooks,
Yeah.
like on the big screen. So with a name like Gildart, he's got to have something to show, I reckon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it'd be good to see if
He didn't go very
He does
well at
get
the
a slot
Tigers.
in.
He got cut from the Tigers, so
yeah.
interesting.
And Mr. Naguama's on the reserves too. He's missed out again. But that Momorowski at number 3 still worries me. I think Kieran should be there. But I think, yeah, definitely got it over them. And another quickly, did you see Gus talking about the development strategies that the Roosters have with their junior players with Paul Gallen?
I seen him in that Gallon tweet. Oh, mate. I
I think Gallen's
didn't
taken a
see
few
it.
too many to the head.
I didn't see it, but someone I was with at the time was watching it, and I could overhear it in the background, and it was just rambling nonsense from both.
So similar to our show.
Yeah, yeah. It was fucking. At least
Just
we're directive.
For those who didn't see it, I'll break it down real quick. Gaskell was trying to say Roosters have a great development club, and players that play there turn into a Rooster player, so to speak. They have their own style and they have their own chemistry there. Now, Gallen's argument was that they're getting players that are 16, 17-year-olds that are already developed. Gus Gould's argument was they're not developed as NRL players. They want to be developed footballers, not for NRL. Gus Gallen, his argument with that was that they've had a head start, and Gus Gould said no, they haven't been developed for NRL yet. He said, but
I'm
you
already
can't play
bored.
juniors.
No,
This is a full-on rant.
Time's over.
Both of them have an argument because the Roosters buy players because they don't have a junior developing system.
That's right.
At the same time, they're not buying NRL standard
No.
players
Yeah, yeah.
unless they're buying someone that's already. But when you're talking juniors, at the same time, Gallen, Gus, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, Mouldy, Mr. Burton. Let's move on.
My multi, I'm going to go
Slow it down a bit.
the Roosters B100. Roosters 13 plus.
Yep.
Sawali to score 2 or more
Suaalii.
tries.
2 or more for Suaalii. Yep.
And Angus Crichton to get over for a little bit of fruit. $8.14.
Nice.
He needs to do something too to earn his bloody
He got over the other week.
$700K, whatever he's
Got over the other week.
Now, remember I was talking about Brendan Smith last week.
Yeah, yeah.
I worked out what that
Cheesy.
was. It's the salary cap. That's why he might not be coming. Legit. So Teddy's on like
Bell
1.2,
sombrero.
Kiri's 9 or a mil. Crichton, Radley, Manu, they're all well over 6. Oh no, I think Radley's 500K.
Yeah.
The trouble is they've got all those players. They're not losing anyone that's high value, so they're having trouble to slot Cheese in. Verrills is gone, but they're still having trouble. So
I reckon Hargrave's going to retire, so they'll clear up 700.
Shouldn't that decision already be made? Like someone had to be tapped on the shoulder early.
I think
Said, mate,
yeah, I don't know what's happened there, but it was a salary cap issue, not an actual
sombrero.
negotiation issue. So,
sombrero issue.
sombrero.
They're shrinking. Must be put through
fucking-
the wash.
A beach umbrella.
Dragons up against the Titans, boys. Sunday, 2 p.m. Win Stadium. $1.55 for the Dragons at home. $2.45 for the Titans, who were good last week. 4.5 is the line. $1.95 at the minus for the Dragons. $1.85 at the plus for the Titans. This is one. It'll be one of those games where it might be a bit scrappy, but I think they'll probably play to each other's sort of strengths and weaknesses, and it might turn out as an all right game, or it could be a complete bludger.
I think that's what it's going to be. I was watching the snippets of the Raiders Dragons last week, and geez, the Raiders were lucky. Dragons weren't playing the best, but geez, that was close.
We spoke about that too. That was a top that moment for Mr. Burton at the start of the show, boys.
the old karma.
Yeah, came
Set the
back.
old square up that.
Big Tino comes in for the Titans too, so to think that the Titans played that well without Tino, you can only hope that they're going to play even better with him in there and build from that from last week. We won't go too much in this, boys. Dragons are unchanged. Your pick, Mr. Cherry. Oh, sorry, your pick, Mr. Burton, then your multi, Mr. Cherry. Who are you picking?
Has Ben Hunt officially re-signed?
Don't know.
Because if he has, and that's all dead in the water, I'm going to go St George. Last week, Titans will take a lot of momentum, but I just can't see St George losing at home. I'm going to ride the Red V.
Me too.
Same as me, boys. I've got the Dragons just head-to-head this week. I've got them for a line bet too, given 1.5 start.
First half handicap.
That is, sorry. I'll read my bet again. Ahead of myself here. Dragons, head-to-head. St George Dragons, half-time, giving Titans 1.5 start. So Dragons have to be leading by 2 at half-time.
Or more.
Brian Kelly and Moga, anytime try scorers, and that's $10.88.
Not too bad there over that magical double-digit number. I like it. Last game, boys. Let's rush through this and we'll get to the Gurus bet. Knights versus the Raiders, Sunday 4:05, McDonald's Jones Stadium. I heard there's going to be no doors on the toilet cubicles. They've all been removed by Peter Parr, apparently. Head-to-head, boys, the Knights are $3.40. The Raiders are $1.32. They're the favourites there. The line set at 10 flat. $1.90 each way. Knights at the plus, Raiders at the minus. Bit of turmoil in Newcastle. It's all been spoken about for the last few weeks. Started with Clemmer. Now it was the toilet gate, and then it was also the boys being 6 minutes late to a bus. Last time I remember someone in the toilet was Sonny Bill Williams and Candace Warner, but that was a long time ago, so I don't know if they're doing the same. But
Wow.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I was gonna say, we don't discriminate on this show.
Pride jersey.
Some people might, but yeah, what a shit fight. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
To be a Newcastle supporter at the moment, considering how much money they're putting into Ponga, when there was, and you read on some of their fan pages and whatever else, the mixed emotions, people saying, yeah, all for it, all against it. But I tell you what, mate, if you're paying someone some big coin, this is the sort of stuff you don't want to read in the paper in the morning.
Yeah, definitely. Boys, Tarpany returns for the Raiders. Big in for him. And Kotrick. Have we heard about the pronunciation of Kotrick? He doesn't want to be Kotrick anymore. It's now back to Kotrick, but even though that's incorrect. So you just call me Smith. That's fine.
Cocklick. I might do.
Big talking point out of the game. Who are you picking, Mr. Burton?
Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders got something to fight for here. Their season's still alive. Mathematically, exactly right. Whereas Newcastle are dead. All the crap that's gone on. I think this could be a bath, as you like to say.
The Raiders, the Knights might be lucky to win a game for the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mr. Cherry, your multi to round us out. And your thought?
Now, usually I put a try score in from both sides, but I couldn't do it for the Knights. I just had no faith at all. I think they'll be lucky to score. Raiders here, boys, 9.5 start. I'm going to take them at. In the first half, they're going to give a 4.5 start, so have to be leading by at least 5 at half time. Nick Kotrick, I believe it's pronounced, and Jack Whiten, anytime try scorers, $9.74.
Nice. Just a tick under. I like it. Now, all that we have left, we should get an intro. We need an intro for this. We've got the Gurus bet, the gambling gazelle.
Getting the Viking clap. Oh. Get him going.
It's not in his pants.
He missed out last week. He was good the week before. He missed out last week. But I tell you what, boys, he's filled up the sheet. He's gone 5 legs. Oh. Cowboys 13+, Roosters 13+, Sevo anytime, Eels head-to-head, Raiders 13+. So he's got a Rooster in there. He's got a Raider. He's a Raider man himself. He's got a Parramatta in there.
Micah Sevo, I tell you what,
it.
I don't want to be eating me words, but Micah Sevo always scores at Bankwest.
$7.94. Not bad.
That's good.
I like it.
Considering a couple of those 13+s would be short.
Yes, exactly right. So you think
Good
about
stuff.
who they're playing as well. Good chance they're all going to come off. So
Put the house and the kids on it.
Yeah.
And the wife.
Exactly.
Good work, Guru. Good to see the Chooks are back in there again, mate. Love it.
Maybe that's why he missed out last week, didn't
I think that's what it was.
Any shout-outs, boys, before we wrap her up, or anything else you want to let the punters know?
Thanks to Mr. Hawkeye. Missed the beer of the week segment, but I finished that one.
Subby rating?
4.
Yeah.
It would have been a 4.5, but it's got the got the jingler.
That's exactly
Well,
mine.
there we go.
It's like syphilis. It's caught on.
Great minds think alike. Mate, I went down to have a beer with you at the pub on Monday night, but you were away, so I'll have to catch you at a different time.
You know what he's doing? He's running the city to surf.
Oh, that's what he's doing, not running, he's walking.
Was he?
A big walk thing.
City to surf. He ran it. Yeah, in Sydney, 14 Ks, Heartbreak Hill.
Yeah, really?
Better
Run
man
or a
than
walk?
No, well, you can do either.
I think he's doing that.
Can you drive?
Oh, you can. You got to fucking be hard to dodge the runners.
You almost commented then. But
I'd get about 2 blocks and we taxi.
We've got to go, boys. Anything else?
Nah.
Shout outs?
Let's get around it. I've already done my shout out. Thanks, Benji. Them Jemisin's are delicious.
Going down as treats. If you do watch the footy this weekend, please enjoy it. And if you do have a punt, please do that responsibly as well. And as always, each and every week, don't eat your soup with a fork. We'll catch you next week.